Welcome to episode 66 of Planning Phase Syndicate. This is our SWOO edition podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We have an amazing episode. We had the results of the first Legends of the Forest tournament outside of pre-release weekend, and we're going to cover some of the results tonight. We're only going to go over the top 4 deck lists. We'll give you something to peep on later on, but I just wanted to go over just some of the top 4 deck lists to talk a little bit about the tournament. Also tonight we have some new lists, just as promised. I have 3 villain, 3 hero. Thought we'd give you something, some options to play with tonight, and just kind of wanted to talk through a little bit of that. With that being said, Alex is out tonight, sick, and will not be joining us. So it will just be my co-host JJ and myself. How are you tonight, sir?
Pretty good. I did a week stint out in Cleveland. Got to meet up with a couple of guys over at Recess Games on Wednesday. Had a fantastic time out there. Got to play some X-Wing. Got to pick up my first pre-release box out there as well, where I got a really nice surprise in that box. I got my first hyperspace foil, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. Overall, it was a great trip. I'm glad to be home, though, to be back with family. But I will probably be leaving again pretty soon to go back to Cleveland in a few weeks, and also some international travel. So, but yeah, it's been a great time so far.
Awesome. Yeah, this weekend was a little SWOO light for me. I volunteered at a local Pride festival, so I am very red. If you couldn't tell, so
that sunburn.
Yeah, I put lotion on in the middle or in the morning, but I must not have put enough of it on, or I sweated through it all. And yeah, my forehead is a little on the
Toasty.
crispy side. Yeah, so I can't even put a hat on right now. So, and it's a little shiny. I've got like the aloe all over it. I've been aloeing up all day. So yeah, that was a mistake. But I had a fun time. It was I don't know, like the area I'm from, Hudsonville, is the high school I graduated in, and they were they were a highly conservative town. So we got to have like the very first Pride Festival actually there. So for Hudsonville this weekend. So that was kind of fun to be able to participate in something that kind of feels a little bit monumental when you think about it. So. But enough of our weekends. Hopefully you all had a good weekend. Pre-release is wrapping up, and now we're kind of on the road to Galactic. So if you're prepping for Galactics, there will be maybe some lists in here you want to check out. We're also going to talk about, like I said, the Maryland 1K as well. But the first thing I wanted to go over is there has the very first for the first Galactics, and maybe we'll get into a little bit more of this next week, but there's 2,000 people playing in day 1 tournament.
Yeah, that's
crazy,
incredible.
right?
Yeah.
Like I don't even know how big that area is going to be. Like, I don't even know how we're going to get cell phone service with that many people in there. 2,000 people.
Any Wi-Fi. Exactly. Yeah, when the pairings go up for Melee for every round, it's going to be interesting having that many people on the local provider trying to log in to Melee to get their next round pairing. Like that's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to go over, but I'm a little disappointed I never got my day 1 buy, but it is crazy. Like, just that amount of people is kind of crazy for the first event. And you know, there's going to be a lot of more people there, I guess, just playing day 2, or not day 2, playing side events. So there's some people that just bought tickets and are going to go play side events, which I think is very valid because I kind of want that Vader showcase. I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see.
That'll be pretty sweet.
So, all right. Well, why don't we go ahead? Let's get into the 1K. So our Chaos of War is our tournament segment where we kind of cover different tournaments. Obviously, there hasn't been very many tournaments going on at all. So I thought maybe we would cover this Maryland 1K. Thought that was kind of a cool thing that we could do. I got the results up here. They had 44 people playing the 1K. Paul Heaver went 7-0-2, so he basically did 2 draws. And pretty much the other, like a couple of the other people had only a loss and a draw. But it's kind of interesting to see all of these things. I think if I refresh this, we get the deck list for them. Yeah, so there's a Gar Saxon. We're gonna cover that for JJ. Palpatine Colossus with all force throw running on a Colossus somehow made it up into the top cut. And not the Telzin you thought would make it up there. A Telzin green made it. Of course, more Han Solo, Cad Bane. There was one Darth Vader that made it to the top cut, and a Sabine Wren. So kind of nothing like super crazy out here so far, other than there was a Admiral Trench Colossus that played that came in 15th. And I'm here for this. So like this is,
Oh yeah, man.
This is a little bit different than Alex's version of the only like we're going to just basically stop you from playing the game. But they had an execute order 66, which I give so much props to for putting that in there, because there's so many Jedis running around. Like I just wonder if that card is actually like a valuable. And it looks like basically that they lost to a Han Solo and they lost to an Anakin and won every one of their other matches. So, yeah, I thought that was neat. I thought I'd share that statistic there.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
But all right, well, let's go back. We got Paul Heaver coming in first place with none other than Han Blue Force. Han 2 Blue Force. JJ, why don't you read the list off and let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And congrats to Paul Heaver. This is actually a ongoing deck that he's been playing for a while, actually, since set 2, if I remember correctly. And he's just been building at it and at it. And he finally cut himself a really good list here. So we're going to have Han Solo here with 2 copies of Owen Lars, 2 Force Lightnings, 3 Force Throws, 2 copies of Yaddle. We have 1 copy of Cassian Andor, 2 copies of the new Ezra Bridger, 3 of the set 5 Grogu's, 2 copies of Merkin, got 2 copies of the bog creature, the 2 copies of Red 5.
Ongo Bongo. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's how you say it, but that's what I call it. I call it Ongo Bongo.
Pretty close. Yeah. 2 copies of set 1 Yoda, 3 Chirrut Imways, 3 copies of the Interrent Warrior, 3 Ki Mundis of the new version of him. We got 2 copies of Fel the Dragon, 3 copies of the set 2 Poe Dameron, 3 copies of Anakin Skywalker, 1 copy of the new Mace Windu, 2 copies of the Hammerhead, 1 Rivals Fall, 3 set 1 Luke Skywalkers, 1 of the new Bendus, and 3 Crate Dragons. And then the sideboard, we have 2 confiscates, 1 copy of the Jedi lightsaber, 1 open fire, 1 Fel the Dragon, 1 bombing run, 2 Purgle, and 1 redemption to finish off the list. I swear he builds like I do. He's able to build a very solid list with a lot of one-offs, but hey, when they come in handy, they come in handy. But definitely a lot of great options here. It's really interesting to see a Han deck that has so many Jedi units, and that he can really take advantage using the Force Lightning and Force Throw. It really helps amplify this particular list, and she has a lot of high health units that he can use Han's ability to deploy cheaper and get him out faster and help spread that board out there. He does have a vast majority of these units are very low cost, so he can potentially play about 3 units in a turn if you really wanted to, and have a lot of options to keep the pressure onto the opponents. And then if he needs to, he has big units in Luke and the Crate Dragon to help finish off lists. It ends up getting that high or later into the game, he has those big units to help finish off the game.
Yeah, I guess the one-off Cassian is obvious. Like, so what he's doing is he's saying, hey, I'm not going to go the Cassian package that a lot of people have been running, and I'm going to say he's going to put 1 in there. That way he has something to resource. People can't hit it with Scanning Officer, but it gives him the ability to have that one-off that allows him to, basically that's a game closer at the end of the game for him. He was on stream a couple of different times. I do not like the one-off mace. I am a little kerfuffled by the one-off mace, and this deck has almost no space units, so I don't like it's a little, to me that's a little weird. There's with the lack of space units.
Yeah, having a low amount of space units does hurt. I mean, yeah, you got the Purgle, the Hammerhead, and Red 5, but that represents not even what, a tenth of your total deck. So it's a very low chance of you being able to pull out that particular card on the regular with your deck.
Yeah, so what that tells me is there's two things happening here. One, that force throw is just that impactful that you have the ability to kill the space units, or B, people aren't playing as many space units, and it's probably not needed as much as it used to. The one off Bendu is a little interesting too. Like I feel like because he's running more than 50 cards, so that one off Bendu is just a little bit odd to me. I probably would cut the Bendu for a second mace, personally. But
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
the force light, I get the force lightning. It's like it's an easy discard with Marin. It allows you to discard it and then it activates your Anakin. So he's going for the full Anakin -6/-6 package. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly.
which is a strategy. Like that's the Kylo deck that I run, that we'll talk a little bit more about later tonight. I have the same thing. I run some hero cards just to activate the Anakin consistently. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, I would say I'm not super sold on the Ezra's either, but I guess it is a 3 health, 3/5 body.
Yeah.
So I guess
I particularly like Ezra with this particular deck because even if you ignore everything else, right, for his ability, using Han's ability comes in at a 3/3 for 3 costs, and that's not insignificant.
that's true.
And especially if you happen to throw in the one single copy of a lightsaber in there, and happen to put it on him, then all of a sudden you got a pretty big threat right off the bat. But yeah, he's definitely feels like a really good add-on to there. I think I would trade off like having a third Grogu for a third Ezra.
No, absolutely not, JJ. You play Grogu turn 1 for 2. It's got 2 damage on him. You now have enabled your force throw for turn 2, and you have the ability to kill or dump 2 damage for anything you play. So you can play a Keanu Moody, right? For on turn 2, use your, you can swing with Grogu, play the Keanu Moody. Turn 3, you have 4 damage that you can pick where you want to start passing it around. Grogu is immense. This deck is a million times better because of Grogu.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Grogu is a must in this. You would never cut that Grogu. You would never cut unless you just didn't own them. So that he would never. I couldn't like. It's important. I think as key. Keanu Mundi is in this deck.
So key is a key.
Yes, key is definitely a key. I mean, because it's like free card draw. He's got so many. Basically, the only ones that he had, like, okay, so the creature, red 5. Ezra works too, and Owen and Cassian are really the only early turn plays that don't give him like the force. And once you get the force, you can just play key. So like you could put Grogu on the table, swing with Grogu if you don't want to kill something, and then play key for 3, and then draw 2 cards. And now your hands flush. Like you just flush. Now you have force throw material. And that's why this deck is stupid, because it gives you the ability to like force throw things out of your own hand versus your opponent. Which the Bendu, that's where the Bendu makes sense too, right? Because it's an 8 cost if you don't need it.
That's true.
You could just dump it and kill something with it, So
that's pretty nice.
So, I also the only thing I would say, I don't see a point in the one-off Jedi lightsaber in the sideboard. I think that's silly. I enjoy the confiscates. I would add a second open fire, or I would add a third bombing run in there.
Yeah.
Like,
you think the bombing run is there just for Vader?
Vader and like any go wide deck. Yeah. So Vader, Han 5 or Han 4 or whatever.
Yeah, the mirror match on, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, no, you don't need it. That's why it's not main deck. But yeah, like it's there to kill. It's specifically like, oh, hey, Vader, you want. That's kind of what the confiscates are there for too. The confiscates are there for pilot decks and for Vader, right? Because Vader's the biggest like set 4 pilot deck that's a threat. It also could be bombing run, and confiscate can also be for Poe decks too.
Yeah.
So all right, well, let's move on to the next list. We have a Gar Yellow with quite a few of the new cards from set 5 in here. It's got Sheehan Flurry, which is crazy. JJ, what is this new Gar Yellow list?
Yeah, it's definitely a nice upgrade from the traditional Guard Saxons that we've seen. So we're going to start off with Greedo. We got 3 copies of it. We got 3 copies of Sheehan Flurry, 3 copies of the Hot Shot Blaster, 3 Snapshot Reflexes, 3 copies of Director Krennic, 3 Inferno Fours. Got 3 copies of the the Secretive Sage, 3 Star Hoppers. You got 2 copies of Breaking In, 2 No Good for Me Deads, 3 copies of Surprise Strike, 3 Lurking Time Phantoms, 3 of Shinhati, 1 Waylay, 3 copies of Iden Versio, 3 copies of Lon Pike, 3 Shuttles, and 3 Darth Vaders, the new set 5 one. And then in the sideboard, we got 3 Bazines, 1 additional No Good to Me Deads, 1 additional Waylay, 2 copies of Boba Fett, and 3 Change Your Hearts to round off the list. Definitely a really nice list. You do have some high end at the end to help close the game with like Darth Vader, but for the majority of this particular list, it's pretty low to the ground. The majority of your costs are going to be 3 cost units or less, so you can put out multiple units early on, and on top of that, you have enough gear that you can help upgrade those units really, really well. Particularly the combo I like is the Lurking TIE Phantom with Iden Versio. You put Iden on the Lurking TIE Phantom. Now it is a 5/5 that has that raid and has a shield on top of that. So it becomes extra hard for you to take out that unit unless you would like waylay it away somehow. And it deals a lot of damage right off the bat. And that's a very big unit that can come out early on in the game that if your opponent is not ready for it, it's going to be super hard for you to take care of. And this plays very fast, very aggressive with all the low cost units. So you're able to play probably 2 units a turn once you get into the later rounds. And if your opponent is not ready or can slow this down, it's going to be very hard for them to keep that under control. I like the update for this particular Gar Saxon. It's really good.
Yeah, I think the neat thing here is that Sheehan Flurry with Shinhati, right? Like obviously it's good with Vader too. But the Sheehan Flurry with Shinhati, because she's hidden, she doesn't lose her hidden tech. So she can you can ambush her in and kill something, right? And even if she pops her shield, it's inconsequential because she's hidden. So you still can't attack her back. So she might lose her shield, but she's still gonna sit there, right? And she does that 5 damage because she has the shield. So she essentially kind of, like if the unit only has 2 power when she attacks in, it does 0 damage, right? And so she could keep her shield, but most of the time she's probably not doing that. But either which way, like she could kill things with 5 health. So if they don't have the force, it can like kill a turret, and with just losing a shield, then you can't kill her back. So she just sits there for the next turn.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised there's not a covering the wing in here. I think covering the wing would be a really good option in here, because then you could shield up that Lurking TIE Phantom multiple different ways. But I saw him play on stream today, and I believe he also used the shuttle to give the TIE Phantom the
shield.
The shield, yeah, which is hilarious.
Pretty sweet, yeah.
Yeah, and then
that shuttle's really, really handy. I've actually had that in my Gar's deck for the last session, and that ability to transfer the shield to like an attacking unit is super, super nice, and putting it on a TIE Phantom is really great. I like it.
Yeah, and like you said, the Iden on that Phantom just like is icing on the cake. That's actually, it was hilarious because that's what he used to like win the match I watched him play, like to kill, just to go to the base. Like he just puts Iden on there and then can surprise strike, and now it's 10 to base, and you're just, nobody knows what to do. So all right, well, let's move on to the next list. We have a Palpatine Colossus, which I don't know, that feels crazy to me, right? With all the force throw, discard stuff, but I don't know, we'll see. So this one's got 3 timely, 3 Piat, 2 Dr. Pershing, 3 Night Sister, 3 of the regional governors, 2 out of aspect Spark of Hopes, 3 super laser techs, 1 tech, 2 merciless contests, 3 powers, 3 resupplies, 2 takedowns, 3 no glories, 3 Anakin, 2 Vader, but not the green Vader, 2 Palpatine's Return, 3 Maul, 3 of the what is it? The reinforcement walkers.
Reinforcement walker.
Yep. 3 super laser blasts, 1 Avenger, and then the sideboard is 3 Eager Scouts, 2 Confiscates, 3 Fells, and 2 more Avengers. This top end seems very weird. This doesn't feel like a super control-y help, I guess, but I kind of is. This feels more like that red version. The regional governors must be there for the force throws, though I just don't know how long they live, right? Like, I guess you put it down and you can hold force throw off for 2 turns if you're lucky.
Yeah. Definitely seen that Spark of Hope on there out of aspect and a palp deck. That's definitely very unique. I haven't seen that before. But I guess it really plays into the ramp, right? Like, this is a super ramp deck.
Yeah, it just allows you to, or if you play a tech because you need to do something and they kill your tech, you can just put your tech back in the row. Like, that works out very well, as well. Or maybe it has something to do with maybe it's not even for the tech. Maybe it's for like your Anakins or your Vaders or your Mauls or something. So you can just dump them back in there. And I will say, like using the timely, I don't think timely's that hard to get off with the Anakins or there you go. It works with the Anakin too. That's why it's there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now you have a card you could pitch for force throw if you need to, or you could play it to put one of your units back in row, but it's there for Anakin. And it's going so weird that Anakin is just so weird. People are really teching into it. I like the list. I think the list is missing some top end. There's no Devastators. I would just run 52 cards and have 2 Devastators in there. That's probably the only change I would make. Is that?
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I definitely would like the 2 Devastators on there. The only other thing I think I would consider is maybe having a Chimera on there as well, as an option on the sideboard, just because if you're it's a space unit and you're able to deploy those 2 extra TIE fighters, which are like nice to have for Palp to ping, especially since it's right before the turn that you can potentially drop off drop Palp and grab control something. I think that's a nice card to have in a Palp deck for this. But other than that, I mean, it's a pretty solid list. It's you have a lot of ways to ramp up really quickly and control the board until you have your big units come out. So yeah,
and really, there's no way of healing in here outside of reinforcement walkers. So I think those reinforcement walkers in non-force decks are going to become popular just because they let you draw cards. So
yeah.
So, all right, I like it. It's a little bit different. And then our last one is the 4th place is a Mother Talzin, but it's not the Mother Talzin you'd expect. This is a Green Force Mother Talzin, which we have not. We had not really heard a lot of people talk about. This list is. I don't know. I like this list actually quite a bit. I actually almost like this list more than I like the red one, personally.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So this one is 3 Timelies, 2 Pershings, 3 that's Karis, right? Get 3 Karises, 3 Kylos, 3 Secret Sages, 2 Mazes, 3 of the super laser techs, 3 powers, 3 turrets, 2 Dooku's, 2 Talzin's Assassin, which I just think is crazy. That's crazy to me. I would have 3 of those.
Yeah.
2 Fells, and then look, there's 2 of these Dagon Masters, right? Like, 3 power, 3 Overwhelming Barrages, 3 Vaders, 2 Eighth Brothers, 2 Rivals Fall, 3 Maul, 2 Relentless Walker or Reinforcement Walkers, and then 1 Avenger and 1 Devastator. And that's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. But the sideboard is 2 Confiscates, 2 of the Graceful Purgle, 2 of the No Glories, 2 Pelt's Return, 1 Avenger and 1 Devastator. The changes I would make here would be I would run 2 Devastators main, and then if I wanted the Avengers, I'd put those in the sideboard, or vice versa. Like
Yeah,
it would not be the same.
yeah, like for me, I agree. Like I would probably start off with 2 Avengers, and then if I have to sideboard a Devastator in, then I'll do that at that point. But I would keep 2 Avengers versus doing 1 and 1.
Yeah. And it's really weird not seeing the No Glories main boarded. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess that's fine, because if you really only need them for that, there's no Shatter Points in here either. I'm a little surprised by that. Like, Shatter Points probably easy to get off in this deck. I mean, you have a ton of force. I'm not sold on those Dagon Masters. I mean, I guess they're good, right?
Yeah, I think they're good for this particular deck for sure.
And why do you think they're good, JJ?
Well, I mean, just the ability to when they come off, right? When they're played, I think they get the most effect, especially with Towson. If you're able to get that off, that helps you set off, if the next turn either for an overwhelming barrage, or weaken enough for like a fifth brother to come out with an ambush, and then on top of that, like it just a really solid unit for 5/5s being able to attack overall, even if you're ignoring the ability of the card itself. So being able to have that unit on there, that's a really, really great target for an OB to be deployed on the following turn. I think it's absolutely great. Just helps you clear that board up there, and you're able to use that ability twice. So it's a really solid card for a Towson deck for sure.
I guess. I mean, I guess it makes sense because when you play it, you could search for something, like you could pull a turret out of it. I guess I could see that. I actually maybe I'm partial to green villain, green yellow or blue green villain, but like I kind of like this better than the red one. Though I would like to see who he play or what he lost to, because I think that would be kind of important. So those are kind of the list from the 1K. I mean, we could go into more. There was like I said, there was a Cad Bane one. Like I would be interested to see some of these other lists, but I think the important piece, right, is those are kind of the top lists, and there was some unique stuff in there. So either people are just trying stuff out, or this is kind of what you're going to see at Worlds. I will tell you, the Han Blue list is 1,000,000% what you're going to see at Worlds. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
People are going to play the crap out of that stupid list. So, but anyway, so that was our 1K analysis. When we get more of them, I think we can. Well, maybe there'll be a tournament next week, and we could kind of go through those and talk about it. So, with that being said, let's go on to our next segment. We are going to do new Legends of the Force lists. So I don't know about you, but I'm excited, JJ. There's some cool lists in here. We're going to start with a villain. We're going to go villains first. So we have a blue Darth Revan list up. You want to take that list? This one Alex built, but if you want to go ahead, you can take the list.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we got Darth Revan here with the Night Sister layer here. We got 3 copies of Canis, 3 Kylo Rens of the new one, the set 5, 3 Onyx Brutes, 3 copies of the Secretive Sage, 2 copies of the Darth Revan's lightsabers, 3 Entrenched, 3 copies of General Grievous, 3 copies of the TIE SF, 2 copies of Make an Opening, 3 Power the Dark Sides, 3 copies of Darth Tyrannus, 3 Lieutenant Chilsons, 3 Talzin's Assassins, 3 copies of Shatterpoint, 2 Darth Malix, 3 Purgles, 2 copies of Ki Mundi, 3 No Glory Only Results, and then 3 copies of Anakin Skywalker. And then in the sideboard, we have 3 copies of the Pike Sentinels, 2 copies of the Takedowns, 1 additional Purgle, 2 copies of Supreme Leader Snoke, and Avenger to round off the list on there. Definitely really strong list here for Darth Revan. Not only do you have what you need exactly with all the dark side cards for Darth Revan to come out there, you have some great early supports there. I do like the inclusion of having General Grievous there along with the lightsabers. just to give him that extra lightsaber on there early on. He's definitely a really good target to take advantage of the Darth Revan, even if you're not using it on himself. And then on top of that, having that entrench on there can be like a really strong piece just to kind of like guard the ground game and while the rest of the units going in and take out whatever you need to on the board there. Having a little bit of control with Power of the Dark Side is pretty nice, and Shatterpoint as well. You can get that off pretty consistently with this deck here as well. And you got quite a lot of blue units to have Lieutenant Chilson. You can bring in those Pike Sentinels if you need more Sentinel units out on the ground, so that way you can control that. My only criticism is not having enough of a space presence. I mean, yeah, you got the TIE SFs that can act as a Sentinel piece, and you got that healing with the TIE Brutes. But beyond that, feels a little light on the space. But yeah, still overall, this is a great deck. I like it.
Yeah, and I think because this deck is not specifically built to be able to trade, right? Because you can be able to trade, give the experience token to it. I like the Grievous ad. I've actually been playing Grievous in my Kylo Ren deck. And I think here, like, I think some of the strategy here with the lower amount of space units, right, is you have a little bit less of a presence of space, but you have the ability to just essentially out aggro them. So you could control their board at first, and then you come in and you out aggro them.
Yeah.
And I will say, it looks like the Force is probably very easy to get. I'm very sad that Grievous doesn't have a Force trait, though, right? Like, wouldn't that be kind of cool?
He was trained to the Jedi arts. He wasn't given the Force.
Well, we don't know. Maybe he could use the Force, right? Could he have ever had that? I mean,
if you're saying that because Sabine Wren was able to learn how to use the Force, that Grievous could have learned to use the Force as well, then maybe I'll agree with you there.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you were wrong when it came to Sabine and the Force. So, like, I know that we have proof of that. We have episodes where we discuss that, and you were 100% wrong. I think you still owe me for something for that. Now I got to go back and watch that episode and find out what you owe me.
Yeah, I probably owe you something. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it's a showcase. There you go. Maybe it's the next showcase you pull. Anyway, so the way like the reason I like this list actually, and I think this list actually has legs. I've played it a couple of times. I don't have Grievouses in mine, personally, but I can see the value of it, and I also don't have the Making Openings in mine either. Those are kind of different, more ads that's more of an Alex style than mine. But I have had this list, and I also didn't put the Chilsons in there for the pure fact that I it's a one unit that I can't get off, but I guess I can see the value. He has quite a few blue cards in here, so he's probably most likely always going to get it off. But I did not put the Lieutenant Chilsons in there. I put I had Vaders. I had 3 Vaders in mine. That was kind of my additional take on it. But I like it. I think that I think I would probably replace maybe the Making Openings with Fells is probably where I would put that. Probably what I would do. But you could put Entrenched on Kylo Ren, right? And and then now he's he's a 5/6 with Overwhelm, which is just pretty nice, crazy, actually. Right? Yeah. And then he could kill things. He could kill things with the way he works, right? Is he could kill things, and then you can give him the experience token with Revan because of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And you also get card draw out of it. So you can you play your Entrenched on him, you get a free card. So it's like you're paying 2 to draw a card or whatever. I guess in Alex's case it's 2 for that, or 2 for the Darth Revan's lightsaber. So yes, I like it. I'm happy that we're seeing some Darth Revan stuff, and I'm glad Alex kind of brought that to our attention. The next one we have is kind of like a Thrawn tempo deck that I've been playing around with. So this is for you, JJ. I built this in my thinking in you of in mind. And I've had some decent success with it. I think there's some more tweaking. And so I'll let me go through the list, and then I'll explain some of the weird additions. and you and I could talk through this because
Yeah.
I only have one super laser blast in here, which felt wrong, but I don't know. So I have 3 Owen Lars, 3 Sheehan Flurries, 2 Disruptive Shades, 3 of Director Krennics, 3 Night Sister Warriors, 3 Bamboozled,
Nice.
3 Shin T, 3 of the Power of the Dark Sides, 3 Waylay, 3 Shuttles, 2 Fells, 3 Vigilances, 3 Legacy Runs, 2 of the No Glories, 3 Anakins, 2 of the CR90s, 3 Chimeras, 3 Vaders, 1 Super Laser Blast, and 2 Avengers. In my sideboard, this is kind of like my testing, right? That's why there's like one-off type stuff in there. Like, so the one-off or the 2 of Tip the Scale is for hand stripping. And the 3 of Change of Hearts is essentially if I'm playing against something that has like crate dragons or these other things, I can take them from them. Everything else in there is just the additional. So like the Change of Hearts is my testing card, and the tip the scale is kind of my testing cards right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
The reason the Bamboozles are in there is because you have the ability to draw so many different cards. I will say those shuttles could be replaced by the shuttle that lets you draw the cards. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like the 2-4
landing shuttle. Yeah.
Landing shuttles. You could technically replace that in there, like that shuttle, that specific shuttle doesn't do a ton other than it's a 3-4 with the shield on it, and you can basically move the shield around to anything you want. So like it's designed to be able to if you have that, and let's say a Vader, right, you now can move a shield to something, and when Vader swings, it could kill something. So you can play it later on in the game and activate and get your Vader active again. And then Vader becomes an even more important piece being on the board. So like this, because this one if you don't Sheen Flurry Vader and you just play him straight up at 6, and then they have to make a choice between him and Thrawn to kill if they have a bunch of units. And if you've controlled their board really well, you don't have to worry about it. The other stupid gimmick, and I guess if people don't know about it, the other really dumb gimmick is the Legacy Run and the Chimera gimmick.
Oh yeah.
You can play Legacy Run and people will avoid killing that ship, and then you just play Chimera next turn, and
then trigger it.
Yeah, and you're triggering it, and then you can Thrawn that trigger.
Yeah.
So you can still do, and then you don't even have to kill the thing. You can still do 12 damage. It's whoever thought that card was a good idea, it's beyond me. Like, somebody did not test this in Thrawn. Like, I don't think this deck is like, oh my god, super amazing, right? But like, it is still this deck is pretty great. I mean, and like Owen Lars is amazing because you could draw like 2 Anakins or an Anakin and a Vader if you wanted. It is, like, there is only 12 force units in this deck, right? But Owen Lars typically is going to hit at least once, if not twice. And now you've got all these extra cards. And that's why I have Bamboozled in there, is because you can just dump cards, dump a yellow card if you need to be able to bamboozle something. And sometimes you have 2 bamboozles. So that's even better. My contemplation was to put Change of Hearts in main board for the Super Laser Tech and the Avenger, and only bring the stuff in if needed for like late game stuff, and make this like definitely more of a tempo deck. It's just really hard for me because I'm a control player, so like,
yeah, absolutely. And I feel like Thrawn almost wants to play control regularly, but I do like the tempo in this a lot. It definitely feels really nice, especially since you have a lot of high end to help close the game as well. So if your opponent is not able to take care of your side easily, they're gonna have a hard time like ending the game, especially with all the restores that you have on there and that Legacy Run, which can help wipe the board. I'm so used to running Thrawn with OB, especially with like, some of the big units that you have on the board on there. But still, this is a nice change. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and I think this, like, out of my Thrawn testing, this one and green are the highest ranking ones. This one feels more fun to run, and maybe it's just that stupid Legacy Run Chimera combo. Like, If they play if I'm playing a legacy run and I play that down and you only have like one unit on the board, kill that stupid ship. Just kill it. Be done with it. Like and
exactly.
And if people aren't running these no glories, right? Like, man, that's like, if you can no glory it, then it feels bad on my side. But if you don't have no glory, like, I don't know. Like, I think every villain deck has to run no glory right now.
Yeah, it's so good.
So, anything else on my Thrawn deck?
No, I like it. I definitely like to see what the final iteration will end up being for this one. This definitely has a lot of potential. I definitely like the new cards added on for yellow, and it feels really great.
All right. My last one, the last villain deck that we have for y'all is a Kylo Doubted Vault. So everybody's doing Kylo ECL. Everybody's got a Kylo ECL deck. And don't get me wrong, I'm running Kylo ECL in testing as well. But I then decided to say, well, what if I stop caring about ECL and stop building a whole deck just around the Vader thing? And so let me explain the difference between the ECL versus Data Vault, and the theories, and how I'm theory crafting, right? So the ECL version is I want to get one or two specific combos off, and I want to be able to hit my ramp faster. So in the ECL version, you essentially, if you run 12-ish upgrades, which is what I'm on average running 12 to 13 upgrades in my deck. The reason you would do, you could use the ECL is because if you think about it, if you think about how Oscillator is, the Oscillator lets you dig faster. Well, because this deck, because Kylo's ability is to discard a card to gain a card if you discard a upgrade. In the ECL version, it's so much easier to discard that and get another card. And so the ECL version specifically focuses directly on that Vader combo. This is more of what I would consider more of a control build, right? This is not your end game is not Kylo flipping and a couple of Avengers. You have actual end game in this, and you have the ability to bring back Vader quite a few times or Anakin quite a few times with your Pelt's Return. This on this side though, you lose your built-in ECL, so you do not just automatically get an ECL because you have to have a timely in row or in hand, which can be problematic. But you do get to draw so many cards with this deck. It's kind of inconsequential for it. Also, it's really hilarious if you play Grievous late game and then play lightsabers on them. That happens very rarely, but you could do that. So I had one game where the only thing I had in hand was 2 hero lightsabers and Grievous. And so I played Grievous and then the 2 hero lightsabers. That was what I played. And then they just they killed him anyway. He didn't actually get the swing. But I don't know, JJ, do you want to go over the deck? And then I could talk about kind of how the deck works.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got 3 copies of Timely Intervention. We got 3 copies of Dr. Pershing, 3 Infernal Fours, 2 Devotions, 2 copies of Entrenched and the Lightsaber. We got 1 Kylo Lightsaber, 3 copies of Legal Authority, 3 General Grievuses, 3 Super Laser Techs, 3 TIE SFs, 3 Power of the Dark Sides, 3 copies of Resupply, 1 Jedi Lightsaber, 3 copies of Rey, 2 No Glories, 2 Overwhelming Barrages, 3 Craven Power, 3 copies of the new Anakin, 3 copies of the new Darth Vader, 3 Palpatine Returns, 3 copies of Maul, 3 Reinforcement Walkers, and 3 copies of Avenger. And then over on the sideboard, we have 2 Relentless, 2 Snokes. We got 3 copies of Vigilance, 2 Top Targets, and 1 Restock to round off the sideboard list there.
Yep. And so the way this plays is similar to the ECL list. Your opening play is either a Pershing and a Infernal 4, right? And the way you want to work this is you want to have an upgrade or 2 in your hand that you can get rid of. The Entrenched are not necessarily for any of your units. The Entrenched are actually more of a card to play on your opponent because you don't always play units, right? So the idea with this list is every turn you want to discard an upgrade into into your discard. And then essentially when you flip Kylo, you want to make sure you have 1 or 2 units on the board so they can't just power you.
Yeah.
And so the way that this list works is you're discarding one of these upgrade every turn. You're being able to draw a card. So like if you pull a hand that has like, let's say a ramp card in it, a timely, a Vader, and a couple of upgrades, you don't mull that hand. You keep that hand, and you keep that hand specifically because you can go ahead and get rid of that upgrade and draw another card. And by drawing the other card, you may draw into like a turn 1 play. And if not, you're just claiming and going to the next round, right? You know, it is what it is. But Ray is so good in this deck too. Like Ray is really, really good. I used to, in my ECL version, I run like another ship in space. I do not like that ship at all. And like now that I have more health and I don't have to worry about killing everything in space, I don't worry about that as much. But you could play like a Craven Power on a Ray. So you like turn 4, you can play Ray, then you can play Craven Power next turn. And it's like it's a super laser blast is what it is. Like it's a mini super laser blast.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
The other kind of key to this list is you are ramping pretty hard, so you want to balance what you kill and what you destroy versus that. So like if they have something on board like a turret, you want to get rid of that. But you don't have to play a bunch of units to be able to do that. And you're just discarding stuff. And then your end game no longer is just Kylo. Before, Kylo was like one of your end game pieces. This one allows you to be able to have that reinforcement walker or an Avenger or a Maul. And you're able to you can literally bring back Rey, Anakin, Darth Vader, or Maul from your discard pile with Palp's Return. Which is just so greedy. Like it's just, that's why I play those in there. I will say, I think one of the changes that could be made is you could put Super Laser Blast in here. I just don't know what to cut, right? Like, I don't know what you would cut out of this to put Super Laser Blast in here. But that was kind of the other idea is what if you Super Laser Blasted the board before you played and you flip Kylo on 9 resources, which is an idea too.
Yeah, I mean, I like that as well. It's even if you have like units that you've equipped some of the stuff on there, right? And you super laser blast because your opponent has more units out on the board than you. All those equipment pieces that you've had on your units that are in your discard pile, now you can now flip out Kylo and put on those equipment pieces onto Kylo to have a really big unit right off of that after that super laser blast turn. So I think that's pretty nice. The only thing I would probably consider, I know that you want to like discard as many of those as possible. I don't know if I would necessarily keep the timely interventions as part of the main deck. I would actually consider having the ground unit Kylo right off the bat, because that is another entrenched opportunity for you to have, and you have that early unit that can put some pressure onto your opponent's side of the board until you ramp up to something much larger as well. Chances are they are going to end up killing that particular Kylo, but at least you have a unit out there early on that can do some damage to the enemy, and that serves as another form of control, and you're getting that overwhelm damage into the base as well. So that is something I will probably keep in mind for that. Other than that, this is pretty solid. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think I would replace the Grievuses for the Kylos. The Timelies are just too good with the Vader and the Anakins, man. Like it's just they're just they're so good, and they're good with the reinforcement walkers. Because you have
that's true.
You have the ability to draw cards twice and heal twice. And yeah. So like I can't get rid of I cannot get. Unfortunately, Timely just has to be a thing right now, I think. But I would consider putting Kylos in there over the Grievuses, or like I probably don't need all those hero lightsabers. Like I probably don't need that many. I could get rid of Kylo's lightsaber, because really the only reason Kylo's lightsaber is in there is purely for if you're playing against like No Good to Be Dead decks, or like bamboozled decks. They can strip things, but they can't like exhaust him, and I don't know. So like I think Kyle's lightsaber is just a nice to have. Like I could cut that and maybe something else and put the Kylos in. So Maybe go down one heirloom lightsaber, maybe get rid of the Jedi lightsaber and the Kylo's lightsaber and put two Kylos in there. I could do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So, all right. Well, that is all of the villain ones that we have today. We are going to now cover hero lists because I promised you we have some hero lists. So, JJ, are you ready for some hero lists that we get to cover tonight too?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So I got the ugly Yoda picture up on here. I did that on purpose just because I hate this picture so much. So I used it so I wouldn't ever have to use this as a graphic for our thing again. The first deck we have is an Avar deck. JJ, do you want to cover the Avar deck?
Yeah, let's do it. So we got Avar Chris here with the Strangled Cliffs as the red base that goes along with this one here. Got 3 copies of Force Throw, 3 copies of Sorcerer's Blast, 3 Adigargas, 3 copies of Gunji. We got 3 Infused Brawlers. Got 3 copies of Jedi Consular. We got 3 copies of do or do not.
Do or do not.
Yep. Yeah, 3 Yoda's lightsabers, 3 blue leaders, 3 Jedi in hiding, 3 copies of the young Obi-Wan Kenobi, 2 Strike Trues. We got 3 copies of the General's Blade, 3 of the Bright Hopes, 3 copies of Eon Keith, and 3 copies of Ki Mundi, 3 of the new Mace Windu's, and then lastly 2 copies of Yoda, the new Yoda that's there. And then additionally, we got in the sideboard 2 home ones, 2 copies of Anakin's Interceptor, 3 copies of the Echo-based Defenders, and then 3 copies of the E-Wing that's on the sideboard there as the additional cards for the sideboard.
Yep. And so that Infused Brawler in this deck is absolutely amazing because Avar Chris's action is to just get Force.
Yeah.
So you can just get Force and then play Infused Brawler.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty sweet combo. I actually missed that before. I actually like that combo a lot. That can really be a beast early on and do some damage.
Yes. And I'm surprised he's only got 2 Yodas. Yoda's just so good. Like Yoda's so amazing in this deck.
Yoda's really good.
But the ability, so essentially the idea is being able to turn the Force on and use the Force multiple times to get Avar out early. And so you're able to do that because almost every unit in this deck is Force, right? So you outside of that the Bright Hopes, right? The other thing that you can do too is before you play Enoth, you can give yourself the Force and then play Enoth, and then like they got to kill that 5/4, and that's an immediate ramp card. Like you ramp off that no matter what, which is great because like I think that's missed by a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't think about that, but Avar Chris just has that ability to say, I'm going to give myself the Force, and now I'm going to ramp off of it. I like the deck. This is definitely like an event. A lot of events and a lot of upgrades. So you're looking to be able to stick a couple of units and throw a bunch of upgrades on there. I love Yoda's lightsaber personally, not even just for Yoda, just like in general on any Force unit. I actually think Yoda's lightsaber is amazing. Obviously General's Blade is a little bit better because it gives you the discount, but yeah, it's just so good. So like the idea behind this deck is to be able to control your opponent's board a little bit, be able to ramp up, and then be able to bring out Avar Chris early. Because with Enoth, you have the ability to use the Force, right? Give yourself the Force from that, put Enoth out, give yourself the Force by swinging by something else, and then you using the Force. It's just crazy. It's got crazy synergy with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I also like the Kit's Fisto in the sideboard. The Kit's Fisto Aether Sprite is the anti-upgrade. I love that. The Do or Do Not to draw cards is amazing. Like, just so you know, like that actually is a really good card because all you have to do is have the Force to draw 2 cards. You're basically paying 1 per card. And like, so you could use that with Key. So like, you could just have a hand that's as big as a Han hand now. But I like the deck. I have not played Avar Chris very much. I'm guessing maybe I can't remember if he got the showcase for this or not. I don't remember what showcase he got, but
Yeah, I think this is the first Avar Chris that I've seen that doesn't have resupply on there. Because obviously you want to get, to Avar's deployment a lot faster. But I like this a lot. You got a lot of good units that can help you like put some pressure on your opponent and still control the board at the same time. And adding those sensor units on the sideboard really helps you against some of those more aggressive lists, and it just makes your opponent kind of go through them first, help you delay in so you can get your big units out there, and then look out because once you get those big like units like Mace and Ki on there, it's going to be really tough for your opponent to hold their line after you start getting your big line out there.
Yep. So, all right, let's move on to Kaz Blue. JJ, what is this list? Have you played Kaz Blue at all? I don't think you have you?
Not the updated Kaz Blue. I like this a lot though. So we got Kaz coming in here with 3 copies of the Cartel Turncoat, 2 R2D2, which is pilots. We got 2 Jedi Communications.
Jam Communications.
Jam Communications.
Yeah. The guy, come on, the guy on there's not even a Jedi. You know that guy. He's from what's the name of that? The Mandalorian.
He's a Devorian. He's a Devorian. Yeah. Got 2 copies of Punch It. We got 3 copies of the Shuttle. Got 3 copies of the Fireball, 3 Leias, 3 Lothwolves. We got 2 copies of Breaking In, 3 Surprise Strikes, 2 Bosheks. We got 2 copies of the J-Type Fighter. We got 3 of the Millennium Falcons, both the old and the new version. We got 3 copies of the Bonbon.
Bongo.
No, I'm just saying bonbon. It's just easier, bro.
All right.
It's
3 bonbons.
Like
yep. All right, I'm all for it.
We got 3 Stolen AT Haulers. We got 3 Waylays, 2 Dakars, and lastly 3 copies of Han Solo, the pilot version from JTL. And then on the sideboard here, we got 1 additional Dakar, 3 Village People, 3 Fang Fighters, or rather the Protectorate Starfighters, 2 copies of Bamboozle, and then 1 additional Jam Communications on the board there. Really great. I like this addition for Kaz there. Not all these need to necessarily use his ability, or you need to cancel out the text, but you got a really good selection of different units that you can put out onto the board, and just pick and choose what you need to. Obviously, Kaz is going to want to target the Millennium Falcons title so that way you don't have to bring it back into your hand, and you have a lot of great units on there where you can put multiple units as pilots on there, namely like Boshek and Kaz can be on the Millennium Falcon if you want to, or just the Fireball itself, which is a classic ship for Kaz to jump into. It's just really solid. This one plays a little low to the ground, a little quicker, and if your opponent can't take out your ships, this is very space heavy, and this can definitely do some work. So I like this a lot.
Yeah, and I think the Kaz shows the ability of all these cool things like Lone Wolf, right? You can't attack with them, but you just use Kaz and attack with them. So you can play him turn 1. He's now a Sentinel. You can then you could then begin your churn out by just like activating Kaz and swinging in with him. Like it just immediately works. And like it's same with kind of that Nubian starship. You can swing with, or you can use his ability on it and not have to discard a card. So it's basically like I'm going to pay a 3 cost 2/4 and draw a card off of it. Seems pretty good. I think the best one is like that Corporate Defense Shuttle. Like nobody could play that, but you could just turn it off. Like you just turn off its effect, and now you can immediately attack with it. You know, like the only thing I don't like the Bosheks, but that's just me. That's just a personal thing. Like I have that in my hand deck too, and Boshek is fine. It's just in this deck it feels like there isn't as many odd cost stuff, but I guess he does have quite a few odd cost stuff. So I guess it could work. I just don't know how well Boshek would work at drawing you cards for it. And Alex's luck is he would always discard his 2 cost stuff. So
Yeah, exactly.
So Boshek's probably the only one I would like. I probably would swap out. Outside of that, I would probably run this. This is an aggro blue yellow hero deck, which is a little strange, right? You don't usually have that. But this deck can put out so much damage right away. And the best part is that Ongo Bongo or Bon, like the only thing I will say is you can use their ability and swing with him, right? So you use the ability. The only issue is you don't get to heal damage, like if you kill something, if you use the ability to swing with him, right? So,
Yeah.
But before he has damage on him, he's a 3-cost 5/5, which is obviously had to be built for Kaz and not for Han, right? Like whoever created that card thought, oh, here, let's give Kaz something. But that's a great turn, like turn 2 play is that stupid card. So I like it. I like the list. It's definitely something that you could take advantage of and really play into.
Yeah.
So, all right, the last one we have is a Han for Lake County. So this is the old Lake County that I updated for this set. And we could talk, I'm going to go through the deck and we'll talk about it because it's got a card you mentioned earlier in one of our other segments that is actually in this deck. Yeah, I've got 2 Boba Fetts in this deck. So this deck is, so I've got 2 Babu Fricks, 3 Cartel Turncoats, 2 of the Dagger Squadron Pilots, 2 of the look at your top of your deck R2D2, 3 of the Pilot R2D2, 3 Republic Y-Wings, 2 Wolf Packs, 2 Jam Communication, 3 C3PO, 2 main deck Bamboozled because I'm so sick of some of these other decks with all these upgrades in it. I just really like Bamboozled now. 2 Bosheks, 2 of the Death Skirmishers, 3 of each of the different Falcons, 3 Sanctioner Shuttles, 3 Never Tell Me the Odds, 3 of the Pilot Han, 3 Plo Koons, 2 Qui-Gon Aether Sprites, 2 Legacy Runs. Look at that. I got that Legacy Run in here. And 2 of the Mandalorian Pilot. And my sideboard is just a straight, this is what I'm testing out currently. 2 of the Clear the Fields, 2 Outmaneuvers, 2 Change of Hearts, 2 Hans, and 2 Tranquility. So the way this deck plays is very low to the ground, very fast. The testing piece that I found with Babu Frick is if they don't know what Babu Frick does, Babu Frick is crazy. You can play an R2D2 and Babu Frick in turn 1, and then you're able to like exhaust Babu Frick and swing for 4 with R2D2, which is just crazy. Like that's just silly. Like once they figure out what you're gonna do, they just kill Babu Frick, and then you don't get to do it anymore. But like it can be disgusting. Like there's a consideration of should you go to more Babu Fricks, but I just don't have because it's a pilot deck. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. I used to run Peli Moto in here, which you had kind of were high on Peli, and I tested her out. I could get her to work, but once they figure out what she does, now the 2 costs, like she's just bad, right? Like she's very good. You can use her with Han because you can use Han's ability, swing with her for 2 or for 1. You know what that top of that card is, and then you have the ability to give like an experience token to one of the spaceships you have. But after you do that the first time, they just kill her. Like they don't let her live. Like nobody, like once people know that that's what she does, they don't let her live. And so I don't run. If you were running a deck that had Sentinel in it, I think she would be fine. But I don't have room for Sentinel in this deck, so I don't know how you would put that in there. The Bamboozled is also newer, like a new addition. I never was running Bamboozled before, but like there's just so many needs. Like in my opinion, there's needs for it now. You get somebody that's upgrading their units, or brings in like a village protector, or they have a Kylo. This like stops that Kylo from just destroying you. And then I added the Qui-Gon's Aether Sprite is sneakily good because it's got the next time you use the Wind Plate ability. And so like you have a win plate ability with the Mandalorian, right? You have it with the Sanctioner shuttle. So like I've actually used the Sanctioner shuttle to capture 2 ships in one churn. And like people don't they don't expect that. And I'm not going to tell you like it works every time, but it's absolutely hilarious. And it's the same thing as you could play a Qui-Gon and then you have the ability to swing with it, right? And you can play Death Skirmisher and exhaust 2 units now the next turn. And like people usually just leave the Qui-Gon ship alone. It's just a 3/6, and then you can put Han in it. That's even better. That's like the best part about that is typically you could put a Han in there. And then I'm testing out the legacy runs because I think they're absolutely hilarious. And you put that and then put like a Han pilot or a Mando pilot on a legacy run, and then people don't know what to do because it's like, what are you kill it and you're eating all this damage. So you eat 6 damage if you kill it. I don't know. So that's kind of my updated Han set 4 Lake County list that I've been played around with. What are your thoughts?
That's pretty sweet. I like it. I think the only addition I would have is just adding, trying to find room for Chewbacca pilot in there, just because I think
he's green.
Yeah, I would still put him even out of aspect on here.
Okay.
Yeah, but he, I think this is a really solid list. I do love the addition of having all these pilots to be put on these low-costed ships and just making them better. It's definitely a lot of fun, and I like it a lot. And especially being able to put like Han on a legacy run would be so nice. Like that, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So nice.
It's sneaky good, like because you don't think about it. I mean, in reality, Han doesn't add that much to it. So it's really like just like the 5/5 that swings or whatever, or 5/6. Yeah. I don't remember all his stats, but like because if you have other stuff out and other pilots, you get your resources back. But it's just funny because then if they kill him, they're eating that damage. So like they have to hope you clear the board, or they have to clear their own board, or you just get to wipe. You just get to do 6 damage out onto the board. I don't know. I like it. I think it's a neat little deck that I'm trying to build this up because the big loss I had, like this deck always loses to, it feels like Han 2 if it doesn't draw correctly. And I'm also looking, is there a way to figure out how to do the C3PO draw? Like, is there a way to get, because if you get C3PO and they can't kill him turn 1, you're golden. Like everything's golden because you just have so many cards in hand. But if you don't get the C3PO, I don't have a lot of card draw. So that was kind of the other consideration, is how do we get card draw in here for it? So that's something else that I may look at in the future. Is that?
That's fair. Yeah.
So, and I will say I do genuinely like the I put the outmaneuvers on the side. Obviously those are coming in against like aggro or like any of the ground decks. And actually that was an idea. Somebody did that against me. And I was like, all right, I should just add that to my sideboard. That's a good idea. I didn't even think about it because 80% of my stuff's all in space. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
So anyway, so that's my Han 4 Lake County deck.
Yeah, pretty sweet. I definitely would like to try to put this on the board. I like this a lot.
So, all right. Well, I think it's a little shorter episode tonight. With Alex not being here, I only had those 2 things to cover. Next week, we'll talk a little bit more about the Road to Galactics. We'll talk a little bit about what people you would kind of expect to see with some of the different lists. And then we'll talk a little bit more about what we can kind of, like if you're prepping for it, like what are you looking to play against and what maybe you should take and different things like that. So we'll do some of that next week, and maybe we'll have a few more lists. I don't know. It depends on how many tournaments there are between now and then as well. So with that being said, thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the Flippity Flop.
Have a good night, everybody.
See you later.